Queen Letizia of Spain attends a concert in Madrid. The Grand Ducal family of Luxembourg attend the closing of the Octave in Luxembourg City. Princess Charlene of Monaco attends a charity bike race celebration in Le Condamine. And King Frederik X and Queen Mary of Denmark begin their 2-day state visit to the Kingdom of Sweden. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. My name is Alexandra, and welcome to your Royal Daily News for Monday, May 6th, 2024. In Stockholm, Their Majesties, King Frederik X and Queen Mary of Denmark began their highly anticipated state visit to the Kingdom of Sweden at the invitation of Their Majesties King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden. Accompanying Their Majesties on this historic visit include the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Lars Rasmussen, and the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, Mr. Truls Lund Poulsen. According to the Nordic cooperation, the historical ties between Denmark and Sweden date back to 1397 when, quote, Denmark, Norway, and Sweden merged to form the Kalmar Union, end quote. Of course, there are family ties through the late Queen Ingrid of Denmark, who was born Her Royal Highness Princess Ingrid of Sweden. The princess was the sister of the late Prince Gustav Adolf of Sweden, the father of His Majesty King Carl Gustaf of Sweden. The state visit, the first from the Kingdom of Denmark to the Kingdom of Sweden since 1985, began with the King and Queen of Denmark boarding the Vasaorden, where they were welcomed by their Royal Highnesses Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel of Sweden. As the boat rowed towards Skeppsbro, cannon shots were fired from Kastelholmen and Skeppsholmen. Upon their arrival at Skeppsbro, the King and Queen were warmly welcomed by Their Majesties King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden. After the inspection of the Grenadier Company of the Life Guard and the playing of the national anthems, Their Majesties and the Crown Princess couple arrived in Parliament Hall, where they held a receiving line that included members of the Swedish Parliament, the government, and official Sweden. Thereafter, in the Bernadotte Gallery, a reception was held in which gifts were exchanged and orders were presented between the two royal houses. First, King Frederik X received the royal chain of the Order of the Seraphim. Queen Mary was appointed Knight of the Royal Order of the Seraphim. According to the Royal Court of Sweden, the Royal Order of the Seraphim is Sweden's foremost order. It is only awarded to members of the royal family and foreign heads of state or persons of equal status in connection with state visits. In return, King Frederik X appointed His Royal Highness Prince Daniel of Sweden a Knight of the Order of the Elephant. The Order of the Elephant is the oldest and most distinguished Danish order of chivalry and has roots dating back to the 1400s. The order is primarily bestowed upon royalty and heads of state. After a press conference, Their Majesties and the Crown Princess couple attended a private luncheon at the Royal Palace, hosted by the Swedish Minister of Foreign Affairs. Thereafter, King Frederik X and Queen Mary of Denmark held a meeting with the Speaker of the Parliament, Mr. Andreas Norlén, and the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Sweden, Mr. Ulf Kristersson. In the late afternoon, Their Majesties visited the Royal Institute of Technology, where they met with 2 Swedish astronauts and 1 Danish astronaut. During the meeting, the discussions focused on the role of space research and space technology for a sustainable future. In the evening, Their Majesties King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden hosted a glittering gala state banquet in the Carl Knights Gallery at the Royal Palace in honor of the King and Queen of Denmark's state visit. Guests attending the banquet included Their Royal Highnesses Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel of Sweden, Their Royal Highnesses Prince Carl Philip and Princess Sophia of Sweden, Her Royal Highness Princess Christina Mrs. Magnusson, and her husband, Mr. Tord Magnusson, representatives of official Sweden, members of the Danish delegation, including Miss Leni Ballaby, head of communications for the Danish Royal Court, Swedes with a special connection to Denmark, and distinguished guests. While royal watching eyes were on Stockholm, in Oslo, Their Majesties King Harald V and Queen Sonja of Norway welcomed the President of the Republic of Moldova, Maia Sandu, to the royal palace. President Sandu and her delegation are on a 2-day state visit to the Kingdom of Norway at the invitation of Their Majesties King Harald V and Queen Sonja of Norway. The purpose of the state visit is to continue to strengthen bilateral relations between the Kingdom of Norway and the Republic of Moldova. The state visit began with the traditional welcoming ceremony on the palace square, with Their Majesties King Harald V and Queen Sonja of Norway and their Royal Highnesses Crown Prince Haakon and Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway. Thereafter, the royal family and President Sandu returned to the royal palace, including Her Highness Princess Astrid, Mrs. Werner, to pose for official photographs in the Bird Room. This was followed by the exchange of gifts in the White Parlor. In the evening, Their Majesties hosted a gala banquet inside the Grand Dining Hall at the Royal Palace in honor of President Sandu's state visit. In Madrid, Her Majesty Queen Letizia of Spain attended the Emoción Arte concert held at the Teatro Real. Organized by the Fundación Princesa de Girona, Art House, and the Teatro Real, the concert featured, quote, 20 emerging artists from the national and international scene committed to transforming the world through their music, end quote. On Sunday, in Le Condamine, Her Serene Highness, Princess Charlene of Monaco, attended the 10th edition of the Champagne and Oysters Cycle Club's Saint-Tropez de Monaco charity bike ride and street party. Over 70 riders, including Mr. Gareth Whitstock, participated in the annual 140-kilometer charity bike ride, which raises money for the benefit of the Princess Charlene of Monaco Foundation and the My Name 5 Dottie Foundation. The My Name 5 Dottie Foundation is a nonprofit organization that aims to raise awareness and money to aid research into the causes of motor neuron disease. In Brussels, Her Majesty Queen Mathilde of the Belgians, as High Patron, attended the qualifying round of the 2024 Concours Reine Elizabeth, held at the Flagey. This year's competition is dedicated to the violin. On Sunday, in Luxembourg City, the Royal Highnesses Grand Duke Henri and Grand Duchess Maria Theresa of Luxembourg and their Royal Highnesses Hereditary Grand Duke Guillaume and Hereditary Grand Duchess Stephanie of Luxembourg attended the closing of the Feast of the Octave, which pays tribute to Our Lady of Luxembourg Mary, the patron saint of Luxembourg. The day began with the Grand Ducal family attending a pontifical mass at the Cathédrale Notre-Dame de Luxembourg. In the afternoon, the Grand Ducal family, members of the government, and the faithful participated in the final procession through the streets of Luxembourg City. In the late afternoon, the Grand Ducal family, including Prince Charles and Prince Francois of Luxembourg, appeared on the balcony to wave to the hundreds of well-wishers. On Sunday, Their Majesties King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands attended the annual National Liberation Celebration on the Amstel in Amsterdam. On Saturday, Their Majesties attended the National Remembrance Ceremony on the Dam Square. During the solemn ceremony, Their Majesties placed a wreath at the National Monument and held a moment of silence in remembrance of all those who lost their lives during World War II and missions after. And finally, on Sunday in Paris, Their Royal Highnesses, Prince Charles and Princess Camilla of Bourbon-Two Sicilies, accompanied by Her Royal Highness, Princess Beatrice of Bourbon-Two Sicilies, Her Royal Highness, Princess Maria Carolina of Bourbon-Two Sicilies, and Her Royal Highness, Princess Maria Chiara of Bourbon-Two Sicilies, attended a special mass at the Saint-Louis des Invalides in memory of Napoleon I and soldiers who died in battle. The Mass is held each year and organized by Jean-Christophe, Prince Napoleon, the head of the House of Bonaparte. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow on Tuesday, May 7th, with all the latest royal news and events, including Prince Albert II of Monaco's visit to France, Day 2 of the state visit to the Kingdom of Sweden, and so much more. So, I hope you all will join me on Tuesday. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, comment below, and click on the notification bell so you won't miss a new episode. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.